Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Infinity Train, Season 3, Episode 7. So, yeah, we're most likely not going to do 2 episodes again this week. We only did 2 last week, kind of on the spur of the moment, on the fly, because I didn't want to leave off on such a cliffhanger. But we're not... I don't really think should really do it. Because... in this week, I mean. Because... if we do 1 episode this week, 1 episode next week, and then 9 and 10 together, the timing works out perfectly for the release of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean. So it would be a perfect just moment to bring that into this slot. So since the timing works out, I feel like we've got to do it that way. So we're going to do episode 7 today, episode 8 next week, and then 9 and 10 will be together in one video the week after that. And yeah, even if there's a big cliffhanger or whatnot, we're gonna keep to that schedule this time. So that being said, last time we left off, Tuba was murdered by Simon, and he's showing no remorse for it. He didn't even try to hide it, honestly. Grace, however, is upset by the fact that he did this, because Grace has been showing a lot more restraint, and she's been, hell, even being changed, you could say, by Hazel. So I think by the end, there's probably going to be a confrontation between these two. Hazel, meanwhile, apparently turns into a turtle when she's upset. We don't know what the hell is going on with that, but if she can calm herself down, she'll turn back, so don't know what the hell is going on there. It's going to be interesting to see where this ends up. I would say that so far, I'm inclined to agree with the majority of people in saying that this is, at least as of this point, the best Infinity Train season. You guys know I was not as big a fan of Book 2. While it wasn't bad, it was still very good. I feel like it just didn't live up to Book 1. And Book 1 was very good. Like, you guys might remember from my reactions to that, it impressed the shit out of me. So, now we're in Book 3, and once again, it's impressing the shit out of me. Even though not much happened in the first half, the second half really just gets the ball rolling right away. And it's really doing well at making us care about the characters, making us interested in what's happening to them. And it's taking these characters who we saw in season 2, who we probably would have thought would be like one-off characters. It's bringing them back and making them more important. And it's doing something really good with them. The writing, the pacing, everything is being handled well. To where it feels natural, and it feels like the progression of events is what would happen with these characters. So, I'm genuinely impressed by it. It's gotten me on the edge of my seat multiple times. And I'm definitely really invested to find out how it ends. But like I said, we're just doing the one episode today. Um, Even if I would like to do more. So, with what happened last time and everything, Grace just acknowledging her emotions and everything with Tuba's funeral, Simon not being able to be trusted anymore. It's like we only have 4 episodes left, including this one. Shit's gonna hit the fan. I don't know if they're going to reach the apex right away, but I'm thinking not, because at the very end of the second episode last week, Amelia arrived. And it was such a casual thing at first, too. Like they're just walking to the next car, and you see Amelia just pass by. Neither side acknowledges each other. And it was so fucking casual. I kind of love it. Until like a few moments later when they're in the car, it's like, wait, this is not the apex. And then Amelia pops in. It's like, what have you been doing? It's like, but before that, just the casualness of it. You know what it reminds me of? Attack on Titan Season 2. In Season 2 of Attack on Titan, the anime at least, I don't know how the manga does it, but in the anime, there's this moment that, and since Season 4 has been out and everything, I think I'm past the spoiler point for that. But there's this moment that is so fucking casual about such a massive reveal. You have members of the Survey Corps on top of this wall, just doing their job and everything. I don't remember exactly what they were doing. And super casually, almost in the background, while it's just doing a panning shot, you hear Reiner mention to Eren that he's the Armored Titan and Bertolt is the Colossal Titan. It is so casually, like, just revealed that it caught me so off guard the first time I saw it. Unfortunately, in my opinion, Attack on Titan kind of went to shit, but Season 2 was actually pretty amazing. Season 2 was the best season by far. But that moment was so good in its execution because it was so unexpectedly casual that it just catches you so off guard in the perfect way. And I think that's what they did here with Infinity Train, the same kind of deal. Amelia is just, she's just there all of a sudden. And we know that the Apex kind of worships her, though they don't really know all the details. So it's just really fucking funny and surprising and everything how casual that is, just to see her like walking by them. It's just like it kind of makes you do a double take almost. So I really liked that, and it was a great way to end off that last episode. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see where that goes now, because apparently something is happening to the cars based on what the Apex is doing. Presumably in relation to the fact that they've been like purging the residents of cars and stuff. That's what I would think, because them just going through and quote unquote solving the cars, I don't think that's going to do much of anything. It has to be with the entire purging of the people in the cars and everything that's causing some kind of issue, I would assume. I don't know. We'll find out. Either way, Amelia seems upset with them. They have no idea who she is at the moment. I'm wondering if she's going to even tell them who she is. It would be funny as hell if during this entire interaction they never find out who she is and only find that out later on. That would be funny as hell. But I think they're probably going to find out who she is here. They might not believe it right away, but they're going to find out. But we'll see. We'll see. Either way, I'm excited to see where this goes, so let's just get into it. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, I think I just somehow, forgot and everything. I think someone mentioned this to me earlier in this season, too, in the comments, and I even forgot from there. So I apologize for that. But, yeah, I think the Apex in them, Simon, Grace, them all, I don't think they actually know Amelia's name. They just know her as the true conductor, and just know that she's, but they don't even know that she's a she. So it's like, I guess they wouldn't know her by her name. So, yeah, that kind of completely derailed, pun intended, actually. Actually, it wasn't intended, but yeah, pun unintended, but definitely enjoyed. But kind of derailed my thoughts going into this, because as you remember from my pre-thoughts, my big thing was, like, are they going to find out who she is and everything? And it's like, my thought process was by the name. It's like, oh, she reveals she's Amelia. They're going to know who that is and everything. But no, it's like, apparently not. And they could have still found out who she was, based on, like, her being the old conductor, especially when they brought up 1-1 and everything. But no, it never ended up happening. So she's investigating these anomalies on the train, and they've been kind of accidentally moving towards her because of her number and everything. So, yeah, that's why they haven't been finding the Apex. And why just basically this entire season has progressed in the way it has. So they end up running from her and escaping further into the car. In the meantime, they take shelter in this cave where Grace blows up at Simon, rightfully so. And he goes out to keep watch. But while he's doing so, he secretly heads back to one of the previous cars, the one where the cat was at. And he gets her to help him with what he perceives as something wrong with Grace. And it's made very clear that this is just a very gross thing. Like, you could say that maybe he does care about her and everything to some degree, but it's to a very uncomfortable level where it's like he's trying to police how she should act and everything. Like, he's seen as she's not acting normal because she's not acting the way he wants her to act. She's not reacting to the number going down the way he believes she should be. He's growing suspicious and upset with her because she's not doing what he thinks she should do, to the point where he's even trying to force her to reveal her number to see if it's gone down again. Just trying to completely take control of basically her life and her body. And it's horribly disgusting. And it's kind of interesting to me to see this character having come to this point, because I never really got these exact kind of vibes from him at the beginning of this season or in last season. But now that we're spending more time with him, it's beginning to become more clear that Simon is really just fucking gross and detestable. It's like, I just hate him. I'm with Hazel on this. Like, I'm ready to throw some rocks around. But we find out some interesting information here. like, I think we knew that the cat didn't like Amelia before. I think we knew that. But we find out that the cat's name is Samantha, apparently. That's something I didn't know. Um, so that's interesting. Um, we find out that apparently when they were separated, it seemed like they were maybe being attacked or something, and the cat ran, only realizing that Simon wasn't with her, like when she entered the next car. And as Simon put it, and as she even admitted, she never turned back. She never went back for him. Probably out of fear. It's kind of implied. Um, and so he viewed it as abandonment. He viewed it as she just left him. And this has probably helped breed his hatred for, well, the citizens of the train cars. Um, so it's like, in a way, it's kind of the catalyst for Tuba's death and so much more that he's done in the past. Um, so it's really interesting. And now he's planning on basically stealing a look at Grace's memories, violating her privacy by doing so, just making him even grosser, just to find out what she's hiding. Um, we've seen this kind of thing in multiple kinds of media, just the entire spying on someone or spying on their memories or whatnot. And it's always gross. There's one exception, and I'll get to that in a moment, that I've seen that actually handles it in a way to where it's not gross. But it's like you see it in a lot of things where even Star versus the Force of Evil did it with the all-seeing eye spell or whatever it was called. It's just a really fucking gross, disturbing thing to do, to spy on someone in the first place, but especially in the case of going even further like this, like Simon is, and actively breaking privacy to spy through her memories. It's just as gross as real life things like people looking through their partner's phone to find out if they've been fucking with them and everything, breaking their privacy through that. Parents doing the same with their kids and all. It's just it's a really gross thing to disrespect someone's privacy like that. To spy on them, to stalk them, to just ruin trust like that. It's always bothered me. And the only piece of media I've ever seen, and there might be more, but from what I've seen, the only one that I've ever seen that actually did it where it wasn't gross was the Harley Quinn series, when the group had to go into Harley's mind because she kind of physically broke to where she was just unresponsive. And they went into her mind to save her. And they didn't pry any more than they needed to in order to do so. That is one of those cases where I feel that kind of thing is done right. Which is ironic considering what the show is. But yeah, it's one of the few cases, the only one that I can think of that I've seen. But I thought this episode was a very good one, and it's progressing the, how do I put it? The darkness of this, because it's very clear that this is getting really heavy and dark and almost hard to watch. There's some really, really hard to watch shit going on. And it's very clear that it's progressing to a point where, again, at this point we have 3 episodes left, 8, 9, and 10. And it's like, it seems super obvious that these next episodes, especially the finale, is going to be so heavily dark that it's going to kind of blow everything out of the water. This episode, just the progression of it and where it ended, it just kind of gives those vibes. Um, and I don't know exactly where this is going to head, but it's not going to be good. It's very clear at this point Simon is the main antagonist of the season. It is very clear that he is the bad guy. And if when he finds out these memories, he's not going to like what he finds out about Hazel, about the changing mindset of Grace and everything. He's going to probably go, he's going to probably rage on them, and it's not going to go well. But on a more positive, light note, just to kind of end this off on something that's not so dark and heavy, it is good seeing Amelia again. She was a very interesting antagonist for season one, and it seems like now she's working with 1-1, which is, it fits, it works. But it's also just really nice seeing her again, because I honestly really do find her very attractive. I'm not always into like older women all the time. There are some exceptions, like Jamie Lee Curtis I really find attractive. And as weird as it is to say, I guess you could count Halle Berry. Like, she's over 50 years old, and it's like mind-blowing because she looks so damn good for her age. But it's like, yeah, I guess you could count her. But with animation, I tend to get attracted to characters a lot easier, and even older characters. A great example of this would be Lin Beifong from The Legend of Korra. And especially when it's these old women who are also kind of buff, like Lin obviously being very buff, being a cop and a strong metal bender and everything, and daughter of Toph. But you have Amelia in here, and it's like with the tank top and everything, and just you can tell she has some muscle definition on her arms compared to other characters. I'm attracted to buff women as it is, so it was nice to see her again. But it is not just attractiveness and everything. I am genuinely invested in her character, and I hope we see more of her in these final 3 episodes. I hope it wasn't just this one episode. That would feel almost kind of like a cheat to me. And again, Simon knows her name is Amelia now, but they don't know who Amelia is. So I assume they're going to find out at some point who she is. That she's who, in their opinion, is the true conductor. Even though she's not. Like, 1-1 is actually the true conductor. But still. So that might be where this is heading. That they're going to find out at some point. Whether it's before or after whatever the fuck is going to happen with Simon, who knows. But we'll see. In the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Infinity Train. We have 3 more left to go, and as I said in the pre-thoughts, if we do episode 8 next week, and then episodes 9 and 10 together the week after, that will lead us into perfect timing for the December 1st premiere of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stone Ocean. So, yeah, a pretty early reveal on what's going to be replacing this series in this slot. But it's like, I feel like it's not a surprise to most people that I was going to be reacting to the series. I think it's pretty clear. I'm a fan of JoJo. I reacted to Vento Arreo and everything, so yeah, it was obvious I was going to get to Stone Ocean as well. And so it's just, once the date was revealed just yesterday, or was it the day before? I think it was the day before. Yeah, it was 2 days ago. Yesterday was the reveal of the One Piece live action cast. Yeah, 2 days ago was JoJo. But yeah, once the release date was revealed and everything, it's like, oh yeah, I knew I was going to react to. So I was looking through my schedule, and it's like, oh, Infinity Train actually times out with that perfectly. Because I normally do the last two episodes together in shows like this, so it's not that unusual that I would do that again for this season. I was already kind of planning on it, so yeah, it works out so perfectly that it's like, and none of the other shows on my schedule I think end anytime soon, or even would like be a show where I'd be taking a break anytime soon. But it works out. um Either way, like I said, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Infinity Train, and for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.